Rest.
Okay. Are we okay with starting at 9:55? Yes, we're okay. Right? Okay.
Yeah,
as soon as they get in,
yeah.
Well, the beginning
You're
part
gonna get one
is.
first.
Wow. Good morning.
Hey, Amy.
The beginning part is the kind of introduction. Thanks. Thanks so much. I'm right there. Okay. So Marvin Phillips is on? Is that
Yes,
what
he
I'm
is.
saying?
That's right.
I guess we do have to wait.
Everybody.
Winning is not going to be here.
No, she and her husband are both feeling ill.
Who was it, told me somebody had COVID in there?
I've had it twice.
Hello, can you hear me? It's Marvin.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Marvin.
Good morning.
Great. Sometimes I've had problems in the past, so that's great. My camera doesn't work so well, so I just have you on audio and chat.
Yeah, no, that's fine. As long as you can hear, that's good.
Great. How's the weather been down there?
Hot. Very
Very
hot.
hot.
But not as hot as Phoenix
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
oh my gosh.
Who was at the courthouse yesterday?
Kathy Rogers, myself, Diane.
No, really?
Yeah, we went. And,
Wow.
And I went too.
and Trish. And our lawyers were there.
Okay, you're talking about the property east of us. I was talking about Trump.
Oh, no, no.
Sorry.
Wrong
Oh,
courthouse. Wrong courthouse.
No, we didn't go for that. No. Sorry.
It's the
You know,
super-
we could not believe it when we saw that. You know, I found out, you know, the explanation about that being the northern part of her district, but we were shocked when we saw that little poor Pierce having that kind of news.
You know, and
Although
can you imagine what it's going to be like here if they actually have him come to the courthouse? Oh my gosh.
I want to be on that jury. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, Lord.
I'll tell you, we also saw some articles about Fort Pierce getting bigger and bigger.
Yes. When you drive along US 1 right now, there's so much of our trees have been decimated and they're going to be building. I don't know what they're building, but there was a place that we went by yesterday, right? And it was like, as far as you could see, all the trees were gone. So I don't know what they're putting in there. It could be, you know, could be almost anything. So there's a lot of things that are happening here. So
How far away from our entrance?
That was several miles.
yeah, a couple of miles.
Okay, I
Yeah,
see.
a couple of miles. But we also
Well, I have-
did, well, you know, I will talk about the going to court. So I wasn't planning
Sure.
on doing it, but I can.
No, I realize that. My brother and sister-in-law, or my wife's sister, lives in Port St. Lucie, and they're really growing too.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, start a clock. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, Marvin, I'm going to put you on mute at the moment, okay?
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Well, okay. So let's, I'll stand and slip the flag. Well, first of all, call to order. Okay. That's good.
I pledge allegiance
Let's do
To
the
the
flag.
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Silence calls, please. And are you recording, Greg? Anybody else recording?
Zoom.
Okay, Zoom. And then crosstalk. I mean, we have such a, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 people here, so crosstalk is not going to get interfering, I guess, but, anyway. All right, roll call. Marty,
Costa Luciano,
Diane Wagner,
Patricia Gomez.
Kathy Rogers,
Frank Hanson.
and Winnie, is out, sick today, so she won't be here. Okay, and, so secretary, so you're going to
Minutes?
be
Which minutes do I read that?
the minutes.
You're gonna read this.
All right, so
All right, Board of Directors meeting, June the 21st, 2023. Call to order, 6:30 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance, reminders, recording, Greg Schenk, Diane Wagner, Zoom, present Kathy Rogers. Augustus Luciano. Diane Wagner, Marty Dowler, Frank Hansen. Absent, Art Cardillo, Winnie Young. Guests, Patricia Trish Gomez, Linda Williams. Secretary. Motion by Buster, second by Marty to approve the minutes from May the 17th, 2023, as read by Trish. All approved. Motion by Marty, second by Buster to approve minutes from May the 24th, 2023, as read by Trish. All approved. President. Office closed July the 3rd and 4th. Will propose an amendment to the condo documents addressing the flood insurance requirement. Real estate. 2 sold, 4 for sale, 3 leases pending approval. Vice President. Hurricane tips and preparedness discussion. Treasurer. Financials on website. Overall good health. Building. Last 9 roofs completed. The final phase to begin once funding is finalized. Be sure the office has the correct current key for your unit to be used in case of emergency only. Continuing to look for water leaks. Grounds, no report. Will address need to replace current grounds and trash pickup services by the end of the year. Recreation, another new pool service. Poolside tables being cleaned and painted, continuing to wrap chairs as needed. POA, report from Linda Williams, which is attached. No POA meeting in July or August. Gate will require documents for service animals and emotional support animals. Old business. General discussion, leasing rules, roof financing review. Motion by Buster, seconded by Marty to adjourn. All approved, adjourned at 7:45 p.m.
we need a motion, please, to approve.
make a motion to approve.
Second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alrighty. The big thing, I guess, this week, well, there's a bunch of stuff that's been going on, obviously, but I'm going to defer the roofs to Frank. He's going to explain what's happened, all that kind of stuff. But the one thing I would like to talk about is we did go to the City Hall Tuesday,
Yes.
Monday. And the Savannahs are resubmitting their information. So what we found which made me very happy and also made our lawyers very happy, is that the city council is very aware of all the details and what we had brought up at the last time when they ended up closing it. So the statute has changed. So now, instead of having 13 or 14 different things that they have to do at the beginning of the presentation, they only have 6. And so they met those guidelines, they put those 6 in, and now what's going to happen is now they're going to be working on getting all the rest of the ones, the statements that we had questions about. So we're also going to be meeting with Dennis Murphy, who is the project manager, I guess, of the Savannas from their side. And we're gonna get in touch with each other and we're gonna talk all of this stuff through. What our concerns are about having, you know, the Savannas on the side of us this way, as far as with the water and all that. So anyway, I think we all felt, those of us who were there, felt better after we left, okay, because they're aware, they asked very, very good questions. The city council asked a lot of really, really good questions of the Savannas project manager, and some of them, he answered everything, but not necessarily like the final, if you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? It was like, yes, this is in process and this is that kind of stuff. So they're very aware of what's going on, and it looks like they want to make sure that we're very happy. So it was a good meeting. So that's all that I have to say. Because the other things that we'll be talking about will be handled by the people that are running that show. How's that? Okay. Oh, in real estate, we did sell two this past month. The one that was ready to close did close yesterday. The 3 rentals, that's all been approved, and we still have 4 for sale right now. So that's it for me. Vice President Hoarding.
Okay, just want to go over a few things about, first of all, is medication. Everybody that has used medications, vitamin pills, any type of stuff, do not flush it down the toilet. We don't want it in the waterways. Either go to your pharmacy and they'll let you know the proper way of disposing it. And if they tell you you can do it yourself, you put it in a plastic bag, you don't crush them, you put it in a plastic bag, you mix it with coffee ground, used coffee ground, or cat litter. I know, and not everybody has cats, but cat litter, any type of dirt, you just mix it. So this way, if anybody finds this, they don't think it's something that they could use, okay? The other thing is hoarding. We've been into units where you can't even move. There's boxes piled up. It's, first of all, it's a fire hazard. Secondly, it's a tripping hazard. You can fall over these things that are there. If you have any clutter, and my wife is one of them, she's got clothing in the closet from when we moved here 20 years ago. She's never put, when my daughter gets here, she's gonna empty out all the closet. Bring it to Goodwill or whatever, any place that you wanna give these to. Closets are very important. We don't have storage here. So it's important to clear up your clutter, get rid of anything that you don't need. And best way to do it is to donate it. So, but anyways, do not pile boxes. I mean, there was one guy we couldn't even see when we walked in the house. He was behind boxes lined up in front of his couch. Couldn't believe it, how bad it was. So anyway, that's all I have to say is just keep in mind to get rid of hoarding and to get rid of your medication, vitamins, anything you're not using, get rid of it, put it in a plastic bag. Do not crush them, do not flush them down the toilet. If your drugstore says you can get rid of them that way, you just put them in the garbage with grinds or cat litter. Okay, that's it. Quick and painless. Okay.
Okay, the treasurer's report is the same as usual. We're in very good shape. Nothing has changed in the 6 months. We're fairly consistent. We all know we're going to be over on the recreation, water, sewer, and utilities. And we're trying our best to keep it under control. That's why we're doing all this water leakage stuff, looking for leaks and so on and so forth. Overall, we're still slightly in the budget. Expected to, we're hopefully remain the same over the year. It's on, if you want the details, it's on the website.
Okay. Next.
Okay, did you also want to just talk about the the contract, the loan?
Not really. I can talk
Water.
about
Oh, okay, all right, okay, never mind.
I just want to say one positive thing about the water. You know, it's been a problem since day one. I think in early June, we probably started going out and doing all the non-occupied units and all. So the good news is the latest bill that came in on June 18th, at least in terms of volume, we're right in line with last year. So with some of those little tweaks turn out to be bigger tweaks than not. So I'm having a lot of hope that maybe going forward, when they finish the entire job, we may be better off than we were last year for maybe the next 6 months. And, you know, quite honestly, maybe this problem was going on,
For a long time.
you know, for longer than we just, you know, knew about. So there's hope for the water and sewer.
We have a question from the public.
Yes, have you found many leaks or?
I'm gonna address that here in a few minutes when it's my turn.
Okay,
I was just looking at it from a number standpoint, the use of this, that it picked up, it got better in June. We hope that continues. Because we think we nailed the price down, the price we got down on the budget, so it's all usage. So that was.
okay. So do you want to talk about the roof?
I'll get right into all my goodies. if
Okay.
you're ready. All right, I'm gonna start with the roofs. As everybody knows, we're on our last section of roofs now. Our money came in. We're doing 12 at this point. We're gonna set this in 3 sections. We got 12, 13, and 12, which will mean that everyone has a new roof sometime in the next few months. If you have an old roof and you want to know exactly, I can give you kind of a ballpark of when we'll be to your place. So, as you know, there's 2 crews working right now on Lakeside Drive. So that's where we're starting. That's the roofs. Okay, the water, first of all,
Excuse me, I just noticed, just last week Saturday, a leak on my roof.
put in a ticket and we'll be happy to come out and look at it.
Okay, great.
And if it needs to be addressed, we'll fix it before you get your new roof.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And did you fill out a work order?
I just, like I said, Saturday.
Sure,
So the office was closed and then I was away. I just haven't.
Yeah.
okay,
But I figured this was going on. I would have mentioned it.
sure.
Yeah, we can take care of that.
And can I just say one more thing too, is that we've been getting some questions about reinsuring. And they're asking for proof that the roofs are going to be done. And so what we're going to do, and I haven't even spoken to the board about this, but what I would propose to do is that we put something on our letterhead that says by a certain date, we should have
We're
all,
contracted to do these roofs.
we're contracted and the roof should be finished. And hopefully that will suffice for them getting their insurance, okay? Because we've got 2 people right now that have already been, they can't get it, period. So that's why I'm just saying that we probably need to put that out there. So can someone make a motion that we do that, please?
I don't know what we're gonna propose. I'm sorry.
We just, I just want to have something that we can send out to insurance agents to say that we're under contract to complete the roofs by such and such a date, so they'll all be replaced. Basically, that's just what it is.
We don't need a motion for that. We'll just put it out.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted, I don't want, what I'm trying to say is, I don't want to make that decision on my own. I want it to be a board decision that we will send out those letters because
Okay.
we're committing to making sure that everything is done and it will be done. But it's just that I want, for one reason,
Well,
to,
just-
for you
just
guys
ask
to
for a
know.
vote on that. We'll just vote on it right now.
Right, that's just what I was just asking for.
I'll make a motion to,
Yeah, I second that.
Okay. All in favor?
uh,
Opposed?
I mean, there's no cost for doing that, and I would just be, as far as the date, just be generous on the date. because,
Yes,
you know,
absolutely, yeah.
Well, the
And
dates
then-
have to match whatever's in the contract.
Well, yeah, but with weather and all that and stuff like that, so
And we've
yeah,
got a date in our contract.
okay, so good, so.
Okay, so we can, yeah,
Okay, so first of all,
Thank you.
I would like to thank everybody that was nice when we came to check out your water. Because we had some people that weren't. Okay, We had most people were happy to see us, offered us water, had no problems with us coming in. We had people that said we were invading their privacy. Yeah. We had other people that just slammed the door in their face.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody that was nice and helped us along. As you may know, Bob and I started looking for leaks when Art brought up the water problem. This is back in probably May, June, when we started looking for leaks. We addressed, I would say, no less than 30 hose bibs that Bob's replaced. We found leaky toilets, which we keep telling everybody, if you have a leaky toilet, we'll fix it. You buy the parts, we'll come and put it in for you. You don't have to hire a plumber, just so we can get this water thing under control. So we had a good head start with section 2. Now, because we share the meter with section 3, we had to do section 2 and section 3 with this new water leak detection system where we hired people to come in and do this stuff. We found 14 problems in section 3. We had 8 problems in section 2. In section 2, we have one unit that has to be totally repiped because there's a leak underneath our slab under hot water. Okay. Most things were simple. Most things were hose bibs, dripping, toilets that weren't quite sealing off, and kitchen faucets that had a little drip. But we did have one major issue. We had another one in section 3 that got 2 problems underneath slabs, and they also had one problem with the service entrance pipe that was leaking. So that's up to them to address that. There will be a report from the company that we use, and we should have it within 3 to 5 days, and it will be available to anybody that wants to come in and take a look at it. With that said, we'll be continuing to do the repairs that we know of that showed up for our section. We'll continue to do the repairs. We will let people know if their water heater had a leak and they need to address that. That will be part of the report. Anything that we can do outside the building, we'll be doing. A quick breakdown of how we did this work. If the people weren't home or if they did not let us in, we were still able to check their service pipe to see if we could hear any noise. If we didn't, everything's good. So I think we had one questionable that we'd really like to get into at some point, but we'll take care of that. That kind of explains everything with the water, unless you got some questions.
You weren't able to go into.
No.
Can you? Do that?
We can, once your unit's safe, we can do what Bob and I did on all the vacant units. We can put a pressure gauge on the outside, turn your water on, okay? Pressurize the system, and then turn your water off. And if we lose that pressure, we know we have a problem inside the unit. And that's what we did with all the vacant units before we ever started all this other stuff. Okay, next, I'd like to thank Buster for his help, and Buster bought us all lunch yesterday out of his own pocket.
You gotta get offended.
When are we going? Yeah. Bob for putting in all his extra time the last 2 days, because I worked him till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He's supposed to go home at noon, and he's not getting paid anything for that. It was just because he was here and he wanted to help. Again, all the people that let us in, and Cliff for loaning us a golf cart for 2 days, so we were able to get around and move everybody around. But be happy to answer any questions about water if you have any, or roofs if you have any.
My roof, like I said, I just noticed Saturday morning, I looked up, I'm like, oh my God, what is that?
Yeah.
So,
We'll be happy to come.
I
look.
mean, I know Patty, she just had her repaired, and she asked me if I had any leaks, and I did not, so, but this is just from this weekend.
Mhm.
I guess on the phones we have,
It's been raining pretty hard.
yeah.
Yes.
I have a rain diverter put on the top of my roof where it doesn't make it to the gutter.
Where it doesn't make it to the.
The water.
Okay, you got a valley. You should have a diverter at that valley. And you've got gutters?
Yeah.
There Okay, because you have a new roof? I'll look at it.
Thank you. Video.
Because if you've got gutters going both directions, and you've got a valley, you should have a diverter there, because otherwise that water is just gonna blast right off and make a big hole in the ground. I'll look at it.
Thank you.
I just have a question. Does anybody know, or can you give me an idea, what does it cost to replace the water now?
Oh,
Just a ballpark figure, I'm just curious.
My neighbors just had one replaced and it cost him $850, but he drained it himself. Because the plumbers actually charge you from the time they leave the actual office. So
You said that was a repair or replacement?
replacement,
Replace.
He answered it himself.
he emptied it himself. Just emptied the thing.
Did
That's,
you go get the water here or?
yes, I think he went to Home Depot and bought his own one.
Does
bought it.
anybody know if it's-
The-
Somebody else can help it, just this, but.
$1,000 would be a rough.
Yes, yes.
At the top.
And we can give you the name of a few plumbers that we use, you call them and ask.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yes.
We had one a couple of months ago, it cost us $1,500. They had to get the, I guess we didn't get the right people, but they said they had to get they had to get the water heater, they had to do everything, because they were plumbers and we couldn't do anything ourselves. And, thanks for saying that, but hope we don't need it in the future.
Then you gotta get permits. You gotta get. permits.
Oh, yeah, but the permits, yeah.
At the back.
Yeah,
of the thing.
The plumber usually
He has
gets,
to
the
pull
plumber
it.
usually gets the permit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes,
We paid about $1,200 and they got the permits and we didn't have to do anything and we could do. What was it? 4 or 5 months ago.
It also depends on what type of water heater, what size and what brand.
well, that would be, because all the water heaters are underneath our heating units.
Have to be-
Cooling units,
Yeah.
you know, if they've got no room to get in there and work, it's gonna take them long.
life expectancy for a hot water heater is not that long, maybe 10 years.
And
Yeah.
it's 10 years.
Hmm.
Just, I managed an apartment complex. If that water heater was 10 years old, we didn't care what it looked like. It was gone.
Preventive maintenance, that's a good way to look at it, because
We prevented a lot of it.
Mhm.
Before we started that system.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have three times what it was. Get one in. So yeah, 10 years was our.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
it happens, yeah.
I think it happened before 10 years. 10 years.
Usually, it's like a car, you get a 3-year warranty, as soon as that 3 years are up, everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Same with these hot water heaters.
Yeah. Okay, it's just curious. Thank you so much.
And I also would like to thank Frank and Art and Diane and Kathy and for all the work they did, this and Marty. There's so much going on in this community that we're up on, I mean, everybody does their job, everybody goes overboard for what they're doing. And I appreciate it. As a board member, I appreciate what everybody is doing here, and I really do. I think they went okay.
I think the board is very proactive. Addressing all these problems and not just saying, oh, well.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
don't figure it out. You are very proactive and I.
Thank you.
As the president, I'm gonna say this too. This has been such a wonderful experience. The board that we have right now is everybody is willing, ready, doing, all of these gaps, like you said before, it's just like we didn't have people necessarily that could do this, and this. And now we've got people with experience in their prior lives that they're bringing to this location. And to me, it's just, I mean, we were talking this morning, since Frank has been here, we've done roads, roofs. What else? Sidewalks, leaks, you know what I mean? It's just like all of that stuff, then we have Art that came in and he took care of all of the stuff that's going on with the cleaning up the strapping and, the pool and all the recreation and all that kind of stuff. And now, he's jumped in when he's needed to be. And he and Diane have been working on the budget, making sure that everything that we're doing as far as like the roof, that we got the best deal for the roofs, and Frank was involved with that. I mean, it's just like, it's such a cohesive group to be in, you know what I mean? And then we have our sources of history, these two guys. I mean, it's like, you know, there's so much stuff that being a fairly new resident, don't know this stuff, but you know, we know where it's flooded here before and done this and done that and all that
So
kind of
nice to
stuff.
go to the office
Yes,
and laugh. We do laugh a lot. you know,
yes,
And we're not laughing at what's going on. We're laughing with each other because of things that go on. And we appreciate what everybody does, and what everybody says and brings to the table. So, you know, it's hard. People that are not there, if you hear laughing coming out of the air, what are they doing? in there?
yeah,
But that's what happens.
but it's better than yelling, okay? And we don't yell, so,
The loan is already secured for the roof, so that's all.
All set.
Yep.
But timed up perfectly, just 3 days before the roofs are in.
Yeah.
The cost to the residents of that year is about.
Cost to the residents this year
Is it zero?
is zero. We'll absorb it somehow through our budget things. Next year, I think I kind of laid it out, not last month, the month before. For 2-bedroom units, it could be in the $12 range.
but
But you have to think of the benefits that go with that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that we qualify for insurance next year.
That's,
And there could be a good side to that too, because if insurance rates stabilize and all, now we have access probably to any market. And with all the things we did, we're going to be attractive to that market. So I can't say we're not going to get an increase, but whatever the lowest increase is, or if we can get a decrease, we did the right things for that.
yeah, it's because some people had asked me, who did we pay? As far as I know.
Not this, not this
It's
year. Not this year.
the other thing too is that that's part of, I'm sorry, it's part of the reason why we're being so attentive to the water, because the water is really, you know, like we've already spent what we thought we would spend for the year.
Yeah.
Almost, okay? So that's why it was very critical. So all of those kinds of things that, you know, are fixing things. And we're making us aware of them and all that kind of stuff, I think is, I'm not saying it's good, our association fee will go down. I'm not trying to say that, but what I'm trying to say is we're trying to keep it as stable as we possibly can. Okay, because we're all in this together. You know what I mean? I don't like paying more either, you know, so, but anyway, but that,
We only wish there was more input from the residents. You know, if we had bigger meetings, you know, bigger crowds at the meeting, to give more input, because sometimes somebody says something, the other person says, oh, that's my problem too. You know, so it all works together. So if we can, if you know people that are not coming here, to say, you know, it'd be a good idea if you come to a meeting. This way you can hear things that are going on, you know.
or at least the Zoom meetings, you know, that's at least that way people know what's going on, because sometimes we get phone calls here where it's kind of like some of it, what they've heard is true, some is not true, and some is, we didn't even think about that. You know, so it's kind of like you get a call like that and it's like, well, wait a minute, okay, calm down kind of thing, because it's usually something that people are excited about. And, you know, if they're here or they're on the Zoom or whatever, or those people that are here right now, spread that word. You know, I mean, everything that we're saying right now is, you know, you can listen to it later on Zoom, you know, so anyway, the more communication we have, I think the better we are, so.
Question, you say you can listen to it later on Zoom. Can you put that on our website so people can see how you
It's too big a file to put on our website. We have a very compact website. It would cost us a lot of money to have, you know, a more interactive type of website, but I'd have to zip it and then I'd put it on email it to you if that's what you would like, but you'd have to request for me to do so.
They want to watch previous meetings.
Sure. Yeah.
Go and click on those.
Right. So, but if you email me and let me know you would like to have that, then I can do that because I have them all saved. So if there's anybody who would like to listen to them, just tell me which ones they want to listen to and I will zip the files and send it to them.
Okay.
Any more questions?
I think.
Yes, dear.
Flood insurance, how, what is?
Flood insurance.
The concerns there.
For the association or for you individually?
For us, what are they saying that, are we gonna have to get it, or, because we're according to the zoning, we are not in a flood zone.
Correct. The reason we have to have it right now is because it's in our condo docs that we're required to have it.
That I don't, that's not a problem, but are we as homeowners going to have to get that insurance, and how easy is that?
You're not required today to get it. And
Are you referring to that, the news
Yeah.
reality or rumor that in 4 years, every home in Florida must be insured? Is that what you're reacting to? I think that's somebody that, put a proposal out there. I don't think there's a law set or anything like that
At this point,
and there may never be.
And the other thing to remember too, is that citizens required anyone that had their insurance, whether it was the association or it was an individual, that they would have flood insurance, and they've just dropped that requirement.
And they're the state-backed insurance.
Right.
company. So that's a good sign.
That's a good sign, yes.
That's a good sign.
So I mean, who knows what's going to happen? We don't know. We can't read the future, but the signs are all pointing to, as I said, for those people that are not in the flood zone, and we're not, we have less than 1% over all of these years that we've had, and we've had flooding in the roads and that kind of stuff, but we haven't lost a house. We haven't lost a unit, you know what I mean? Any of that kind of stuff. It's, that's why it's so important. And which reminds me too, the pump has been fixed. We said that before. The pump is working appropriately. It's 20,000 gallons per minute that it's pumping out right now, which is wonderful. And then Barb Campanile, who is the vice president of Section 1, is in charge of it, and she is checking it every day. So if we have rain and it goes up a little bit, they'll run it for a little bit and all that. So they've been very, very attentive to it. So and she's the one that made sure that everything got fixed, and it turned out that there was not a crack. It was the seals that had just dried out, and that's why they were leaking. So that was all refurbished. So it's like we've got a brand new pump. So.
and the potential construction of Savannah, that's supposed to affect us with the water drainage that was an issue before.
That's why we went to the meeting, and that's why we're also going to be meeting with their project manager. Their project manager is Dennis Murphy, and I spoke to him after the meeting. And John Carrigan, who is our lawyer, was there as well. And we want to get together and to talk, because they don't want to cause us problems, because if they don't do what we're asking them to do and they let it go, and then we have a problem afterwards, guess what? We're going to sue them, and they're going to have to pay anyway. So why not just do it now? And I think that's the mindset. And as I said, the city council, I was very impressed with the questions that they asked and the knowledge that they had about things. I mean, they were challenging in ways that, with their expertise, they were able some of them are lawyers, some of them are engineers, and they were asking the right questions. So they're paying attention, right? I mean, from what I viewed. The Savannah's project knows I have to be on their toes, because they've got to fulfill the requirements that have been asked. So it's going to be probably another 3 months before we have another hearing, okay, because now they're gonna go in and they're doing the last 9 steps. They have to fulfill those, and then we'll have another hearing. But between that time, we'll be meeting with the project manager to have us go through and let him see what we have concerned about. You know, it was when our lawyer came in, and they went around and the engineer went around. You know, it's one thing when you see a drawing, but when you see what the terrain is and all that, you know, it go like, now you know what our concern is. So anyway, that's the plan right now, is that they'll be coming in. So
I just want to say about the flood insurance that, it's my understanding, like, section 1, section 3 do not even carry flood
Right.
insurance. And to the extent that we cover it, realize that that's at least $30 of your monthly HOA fee. So I'm not saying, you know, cost overrides the necessity, but if we can do like a, you know, an engineering study, say that law, I mean, if that law passes, I mean, this goes all out the window, but if that law doesn't pass, we're not required, you know, our flooding risk is really this pond over here. And if we get the okay, like engineering wise, and we get the equipment up to snuff, we could save that money too, and just think saving 100,000 on a policy that tends to increase more at a higher rate than other policies, you know, for the years to come.
That insurance, flood insurance that we carry as an HOA, what does that do for individuals?
what,
Does it do for the individual? What does flood insurance? do
well,
for the
yeah, I'm just,
individual?
well, basically what it would do is if a tsunami comes in and raises your building to the ground,
Well, that.
that's what our insurance, that's all that our insurance covers. Okay, that's all that flood insurance, it will replace that building. It won't replace anything inside, but it will replace your building.
So that would be an insurance confidence.
I'm sorry?
You want to get home insurance.
Exactly, yes. And so you're, mhm.
We have to take care of the drywall. Section 2 is responsible for drywall, the residents are paying them. So our
Correct.
insurance is section 2 has to take care of the wiring and the drywall.
Yeah, that's what I'm, that's
Yeah.
basically what I'm saying, the building, but it
Anything
wouldn't,
else is-
your,
that's inside is your
Yeah.
responsibility.
yeah, that's all,
Floor,
yeah.
Things like that.
We'll put the walls up, yes, but I mean, as far as like stove, refrigerator, furniture, all that kind of stuff, none, right? And that's what I'm saying, that the insurance that we have, that's what it covers. Okay, so it will build the building again if it's deemed that we should be doing that, okay? But I'm just saying that that's what we'd be, including the walls. But I'm,
That's what Anthony said about shaking your condo.
yes, yeah, if you take the roof,
I understand that.
Yeah.
I just wondered if
right,
that insurance covers anything other than the building.
yes, and remember now, that's also just by flood. It has nothing to do with wind. It has nothing to do with its flood. So that's why we probably will be sending out in the near future another request about considering changing that, instead of saying we should have flood insurance, change that should to may have some flood insurance, because I don't think people really understood what we were talking about. I mean, literally, you'd have to destroy the building. 51% of the building would have to be destroyed in order for this insurance to pay.
But excuse me, I have for hurricane, like they have bad hurricane.
We have wind insurance as well. That's different.
Oh,
Okay, so that's the point I'm trying to make, is that I think there's a confusion. Flood only takes care of something that comes in here. Like I said, it would be a tsunami, you know, that would just destroy everything, you know, or 51% of your building. So that's when we would have be able to put in a request for reimbursement.
You just said, I mean, say that we're not required, since we're not in a flood zone, is that what you're saying?
Right now,
Doesn't matter.
citizens, right, citizens has the insurance that we had up until that we have now, up until about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, required us to have flood insurance. But Citizens, a month and a half, 2 months ago, dropped that. So we don't have to have it anymore. Our flood insurance last year was over $60,000.
Over like 80.
This year's
This year it's 80.
93,000 this year. Last year was 82,000, and the year before that was 60,000. So we're talking, it's
Next year it'll be close to 100.
right.
I mean, your documents require that people.
Right, so it doesn't matter what Citizens
We can change that. Exactly. Well,
by vote.
we by the vote, and that's what we tried to do the last time. And I think there was a very big misunderstanding as to what that flood insurance would cover. And there was, anyway, I think there was just a misunderstanding. So that's why people voted not to change that verbiage. It's just instead of should mean that we have to, we may. It doesn't mean we can't get it.
Yeah.
It just means that we're not required to.
What you're saying about people not understanding. Neighbor, there's no way I can convince her that we don't need flood insurance. So I think you're right. It has to be somehow laid out there so people understand so they can make an informed decision. I cannot convince her we don't need it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So I'm sure there's a lot of other people in the same mindset.
right.
They really do. I agree with China.
Personal homeowners insurance. It's up to you, but I think it's a must for homeowners, carry your own personal home. It's not a lot of money, a couple of $100 a year. But I think, in my opinion, I would, and I do carry that, so.
Because the chances of us, if we have that flood, if we've talked about this, if you up near a road and that kind of stuff. If you get water that comes into your house from the flood, okay, that it comes up through your floor and it destroys your walls and it destroys your furniture, like as we've seen on television, every single day you see it on television. That's the flood insurance that is personal. And that's up to you to get that, whether or not you want to be able to replace all that. But again, the chances, and this is me speaking, okay, and maybe I shouldn't be, but the chances of the buildings being destroyed are very, very low. Okay, but again, we're in Florida, you know, we could have a tornado or whatever, but that's not a flood. So we'd still be covered. Do you see what I'm saying?
So I get it straight. If we have a heavy rain or whatever, that is not considered a flood. If that
Correct.
water floods the streets and comes up, that's not considered a flood.
Rising water.
If it comes up from the ground,
Rising water.
But it's like, you know how the streets, if it doesn't stop raining, the streets, that's the system just can't take the water. You know, right when
Oh, that would be a flood.
so it comes, so is that considered a flood when we have a rain or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rising water.
yes, but remember now, if it comes up that way, it's got to destroy your building. 51% of your building has to be destroyed.
So just, let's just say it comes 2 inches inside the front door. And would that be considered a flood because if the rain was so heavy that it's came up to your building? I'm just curious. So
See,
I
to
know
me,
if somebody asked me the question.
That would be a flood for you to take care of,
that would be personal.
because it would be your internal, it would be your apartment,
But
okay?
yes,
If you came in through the outside, no, it would be up to the county. If your water heater breaks and floods you inside.
That's right,
That's your insurance.
right, but it's not flood,
Underneath
it's not flood
the
insurance.
door, it's a flood.
If
Yeah,
your
but it's
water,
not- It's not gonna cover your personal contents.
But it's
Let's get an insurance guy.
Yeah,
Answer this
it's
without
gonna cover the wall, but it's not gonna cover your floors and your property.
right, Joanne,
So,
Just wonder when it comes to the door, like, what if it comes up partially on the door becomes warped? The community is responsible for like.
Does.
front door, right?
Yes.
right,
So that's one thing that if we don't have. Unity, then I don't know what our individual one covered, but it's covered by the team, I don't know.
how about if we do this? How about if we do this? We get Anthony back here again,
Absolutely.
okay? You've already, most of you have already met Anthony, you know, he's honest, straightforward, gives you, doesn't tippy toe around stuff. He will tell you the story. So what I'm telling you is this is what he's told me, okay? And some of our board members as well. So, and that should be sooner rather than later. We'll get in touch with him to see if we can get him in here because, and the reason being, and that would be a very important Zoom meeting for all of us to attend because we need to make a decision. Again, it's going to have to go out for mailing again. We're going to have to do another vote, but we really have to make a decision as to whether or not we should keep flood insurance for our buildings. It doesn't mean that we can't have it. It just means that we're not required to. That's all. That's all it is. It gives us an idea.
Yeah, and I need to explain one thing too, while we're talking about this. There's a lot of people that think because there's water by their cars when it rains, that the system is not working. That's incorrect. That's part of the system. You cannot push all that water into these ponds all at one time. It's got to take its time to reach that level. So all the water, you'll see you've got a drainage ditch across the front of the parking lots and in the grassy areas, which takes water to the culverts, okay? This is all designed. The pipe is only so big, leaving those culverts going to the ponds. It's to detain that water until it can all reach its own level and not push too much into one system at one time. So that is part of the design.
Which is totally wrong. The design that we have, because every other place, and I've lived in a bunch of them down here, they use the road where everything goes.
Well, our roads are crowned and we're running everything in.
I know, but these are like this, so it takes it down to the.
Exactly. Well, and I've looked through all the drawings and this is exactly how it was all designed. With the size of the pipe, it's can carry so much water per rainfall.
Right.
And then the rest of it is going to sit there and you can watch it in your parking lots. You can see that gradually it's going sideways to the drains. Okay, but it's holding in grassy areas, which the grass is actually eating some.
It's not
as it
instant.
goes.
Not instant.
Yeah.
Is there any
Anyway.
questions on Zoom?
For whatever it's worth, and I know people have lived here longer than I have, but I've been here over 30 years and walked in the water and never see it get in a house. Or in a porch, rather than a street porch. It's never
Which-
done it, and I've walked in water almost to my knees.
Well, we did it one time and you followed me, you know what I mean? So I just think that there was a misunderstanding. That's the best way I can put it. And I think that if we get Anthony to talk, give you all the details, et cetera, and we make sure that we have everyone that understands that it would be 51% of the building would have to be destroyed in order for us to even make a claim on it. Okay, then, so we 60,000, 80 something thousand, and now we're up to the 90 something thousand. So it's only a fair, just that we're paying, I hate to say it, but for nothing. Okay, or a 1 in 100. Okay, it's not nothing. I shouldn't say it that way, but and we're required by our condo doc to do that. So that's why the only way that we can make a change on that is by changing the condo doc.
And not to jump way ahead, but even after we spoke to Anthony, like, I think we need to assure everybody by taking a look at the pond that we have some type of engineering study that says, yes, your pumps are working, they're functional, they can handle, the load that it's expected to handle. And, once, and your culverts are all cleaned out and everything. Because, I mean, I've only been here 2.5 years now, and I get the puddles in the parking lot, but what I spoke to really said our problem would be the pond if that pump didn't work. So they go hand in hand, whether the insurance is one thing and then the ability to actually stop it is right here. And I think we can do that and we could save ourselves, as I said, almost $400 a year on our HOA fees and rising.
Yeah,
Can we move on now, please?
you certainly can.
Thank you.
Okay,
Whatever's left.
so you're all set? Okay, you already talked about the re-roofing,
Grounds, right.
grounds, anything grounds?
Nope. Anybody like to talk to me after, I'd be glad to talk to anybody one-on-one.
Okay. Pool,
But we started off really rough at the pool. I mean, like, when we initially did the budget, I think in December, we were using a different pool company. Can't even think of their name right now. But he came in, he was charging us $375 for last year. And he just said, oh, I'm gonna charge you $400 for 2023. Well, that didn't last long because at the end of December, he said, whoa, I got my chemical costs have gone crazy. I'm raising it to $975. So that's when we dropped his service and we got a new service in who came in at like, I believe he started at 600 and then but gradually kept rising it and wasn't the most responsible person to do it, though he was doing a good job. But we now, for the last 2 months, we have, I don't know, don't see too many pool people here, but Paul does a fantastic job and he's doing it at $600 a month, which is now considered reasonable. But there's no guarantee it's going to stay like that. I mean, if chemical prices continue to rise, they'll have to charge us more. But right now, it seems like inflation is getting a little bit tamer than it was last year. So the pool problems hopefully behind us.
Now the other thing,
Sandy.
And the other question, is the raccoon problem solved?
In your building, unless you've heard some more.
They found a baby out back.
We found a baby 2 buildings down from here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was bad.
yeah, she told my next door neighbor.
It was probably trying to get back in your place. Since it's all closed
Probably, I
up.
had the door open, I don't know what.
Get the doggy door. I'll take a look and make sure it's all still closed up.
I check well myself, so,
did you?
but it might be other people that are trying to get it now.
Yeah.
And mom, the one that are the
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Well, the squirrels have been really crazy active lately too. We had a bunch of people that have called in and I'll go check it out. It's just, I can see the squirrels not around.
Thank you.
I'll look.
Okay. It's not on the agenda, but we also had a hog problem. Okay, they're starting to come into section 2. Section 3 has been,
Between section 2 and section 3.
right. So,
This eroded, and lately I've seen quite a few rackets in the back. So the other day, one of them, anytime I got her, and I'm freaking out. Because when we had, I mean, I haven't seen the raccoons no more. They got, but at least the raccoons, I think, used to take care of that. But now, dude, broad daylight, big, it came out of her, and then it saw about me, and then it just went up my gutter, and I'm like, okay, what do I do?
Well, remember, he can't get into the house from the gutter. Okay, he's only gonna get up onto the roof. Secondly, Bob and I have got rat traps out here by the generator because we've seen rats back here too. So we're working on that.
Oh, you knew it, you're aware.
Yes, ma'am.
What generated by the pool?
Right
Yeah,
outside.
because yeah, me and her were connected, so
Yeah.
I think that you saw it first, right? And then I'm like, oh my God, when the raccoons were around, I've never seen them. Rather have raccoons.
Yeah.
But anyway, I came in and I did mention it,
yeah,
but now it's just a couple of days ago. Oh my God.
well, if they're outdoors, like,
The big problem is people feeding raccoons or birds or whatever. It draws other creatures and other rodents. So if you see people putting food out for raccoons or for cats or for whatever, we have to nip that in the bud because that's what draws rodents.
Art, we have a question for you from Zoom. Marvin Phillips wants to know, have we ever considered a saltwater system for the pool?
It's come up a couple of times in the last 3 or 4 months, but no, we have never looked at it. So,
salt water.
Sally, you want to add something?
Section 3 had one time that they took them out, as people know, that cost them $6,000. And my understanding is that never mind the sod and fixing the grounds up again. So yes, we talked to the president of Section 3, and we haven't gone any further with it, but we're gonna have to do something if it continues to get worse. And someone, and I'm not being facetious here, but someone suggested that we get in touch with the hunting club. And
The hogs.
Wild pigs.
the wild pigs, they're very dangerous, as you probably know. They're very destructive, number 2. Yes, when Section 3 had the issue last year, it cost them $6,000 to trap them and get them off premises. And as I said, someone not facetiously, and I'm just saying it out loud, there's a hunting clubs apparently in this general area, and asked them to come and take care of them. I don't know if we can do that.
That's
I'm
the
just saying.
last resort. Nobody wants to fire a weapon in a community like this.
I'd have to sit here at night.
I'll shoot him. Okay. The only, what I'm trying to say basically is we have to come up with a solution. You know, and that's the thing. I mean, is, you know, I'm not a hunter. I've never fired a gun, any of that kind of stuff. But my thing is if you're going out to hunt and you eat it, then it's okay. You know what I mean? It's, you know, but anyway, I'm not saying we've done that. That's right. Exactly.
Every week.
I've never seen them during the day.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Trap,
Yeah.
trap. You don't use a weapon.
They want, so they usually come up and
And that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
So whether they trap them or do whatever they want to do, I don't, and they can take it to wherever their property is. But if there's someone that you know that we can contact just to find out what we can do and what they can do, let me know. Okay.
As far as I know, the hogs are going to ask about it. I have to. You go home.
I know.
Yeah.
And they're two big old armadillos under there. Are they gonna cause any harm under there? Otherwise, you're gonna have to ignore them. Yeah.
What are they on, the house or the air conditioning?
No, the house.
Well, I know Bob and I fill up holes, and I know Marty and them fill up holes whenever they find them, but unfortunately, we've tried everything from broken glass, metal, we put big bricks in there and then filled it in, and they always dig them back out. Once they find a place that they're happy with, there's no way to let them fill it.
It was still at home. He would put the big old operating thing and put it in there.
Yeah.
And then we get rid of them for a little while, yes, but he would check and sure enough.
Yeah, they find another place.
This is like a huge hole. It's not gonna cause me any harm under the building now. I mean, can they cause any harm?
No, the foundation.
They would have to dig a 6-foot hole under the corner of the building to do any damage.
It's good.
Fill it up with my brooch and took a bag of brooch and put in the hole.
What, you want to kill the poor little one? Kill him?
Want to sleep.
He's not hurting you.
That's his animal.
There's probably some kind of crazy law in the state that you can't do that.
It's not that.
Yeah.
Got the rats and the raccoons. If bird feeders are put up, that draws rats and rodents and stuff. So are we allowed to have bird feeders?
Well, if you got a bird feeder, you shouldn't hang it, or you should hang it. It shouldn't be.
There's a lot of people that put out right on their patios.
Yeah.
and
Dishes, yeah.
And that's what keeps it going.
Right.
But that's what keeps the rodents.
And I see that.
Exactly.
I see it when I'm mowing back and there's all.
Yeah. We've had to talk to a couple of people that thought that was the nice thing to do until they saw the rats.
Yeah.
And then somebody-
That's what attracts them.
Yeah, and one of the
Yeah, I was watching a raccoon eating one of your nice green tomatoes the other day.
They don't like Mondays. I think
Bird feeders are good, but I think if you really wanted to see birds, put out that liquid does and draw hummingbirds, because they don't cause any problems. And it's only fluid or liquid that they're coming after. So,
Well, all in all, this community is kept magnificent. Yes. The landscaping, this man, I see him working at day and night, but I mean. And the rain comes, the leaves fall, before you know it, they gone. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow. So.
Yeah.
It's a
And-
pleasure living here.
Yeah, and I didn't mention that, but that's something else too that we should be very thankful for is Cliff and Marty. Because there's no such thing as a day off for them either. Okay, I had to call Cliff the other day and he was down in West Palm Beach at a Dirks Bentley concert when I spoke to him. So it goes to show you, then he found the solution and got somebody, but I'm just saying that these guys are on duty 24 hours a day and never complain. So I'm just saying that we're just very blessed. That's my personal opinion.
And
Okay,
I'm here again, this.
Yeah.
These days, a year that I'm here. I'm really, the landscaping is beautiful.
it is.
Very, very well.
And our trash is always picked up on time.
Yes.
Always, always, always.
Same time every day.
Okay. Any
Old business.
old business? I think we just talked about a whole bunch of old business, but
So
it's,
we're done.
I think so.
Yeah,
We're
I know we adjourn.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're not,
I.
yeah, okay.
Thank you all.
Bye bye,
Yes,
everybody.
thank you.
Zoom.
Sandy, get me that info, okay? If you can.
Nice job, everybody.
Yes, thank you, Marvin.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being on
My
here.
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Great. Or keep up the good work.
Tell your
Bye-bye.
friends.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Bye-bye.
The man I'm still living.
We had 7.
I used to work in Palm City in Montreal, 17 years in March.